Welcome to tonight's meeting of the Zoning Board of Adjustment of the Township of Union, which is being held pursuant to the Open Public Meeting Law, C-231 laws of New Jersey dated 1975. Notice of this meeting was advertised in the local source and/or the Star Ledger, the two newspapers of record, and notice has been posted on the bulletin board in the municipal building adjacent to the municipal clerk's office. Roll call.
Mr. Wiley.
Here.
Ms. Martins.
Here.
Mr. Bentavegana.
Here.
Ms. Scott.
Here.
Mr. Johnson.
Here.
Mr. McNeil.
Here.
Mr. Graves is absent. Ms. Ricketts.
Here.
Mr. Champy.
Here, let the record show that I was not in attendance for the last meeting. There being a quorum present, this meeting is now declared open. Mr. Manguso, at this time, are there any communications?
No, Mr. Chairman, there's no communications at this time.
Proceeding with tonight's meeting, our first order of business is the adoption of a resolution for calendar number 3432, J Katz, located at 553 Thoreau Terrace, Block 2509, Lot 10. And it was for the addition with insufficient front and side yard setbacks. You've all had a chance to read the resolution. Are there any board members at this time that would like to comment, make changes or modifications to this resolution as it is written? Hearing none, may I have a motion and a second for the adoption of the resolution?
Mr. Chairman, I move that this board adopt the resolution as read and modified as accurately memorializing the previous findings of this board.
Second motion.
Roll call.
Mr. Wiley.
Yes.
Ms. Martins.
Yes.
Mr. Bentavegana.
Yes.
Ms. Scott.
Yes.
Mr. Johnson.
Yes.
Mr. McNeil.
Yes.
And Mr. Champy.
Yes. Our next order of business this evening is calendar number 3435, 779 Rosner Drive, LLC, located at 779 Rosner Drive, Block 3102, Lot 19. Applicant wishes to construct the driveway without a garage.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. May it please the board, Bianca Pereiras on behalf of the applicant. For purposes of the record, I did submit my jurisdictional submissions to your board secretary via email. I do have my originals. You have?
So
Great.
noted for the record.
Thank you very much, counsel. Yes, as was mentioned by your chairman, this is an application to construct a driveway in the front of a one-family home located in your RA or residential zone. We do have a garage at the rear of the property. However, the client is looking for an opportunity to drive through the front and be able to enter the front door of his home, and actually brings this property more into conformance with the neighboring properties. We have one expert to testify before the board this evening, and that is our architect, Mr. Manuel Pereiras.
Would you like me to be sworn in?
Yes. This
May I
is
ask you to swear or affirm that the testimony you can provide this evening is the truth and the whole truth?
I do. Manny
For the-
Pereiras,
Spell your name for the record, please.
Manny Pereiras, Pereiras, with Pereiras Architects Ubiquitous. We're located at 1116 Summit Avenue in Union City, New Jersey.
Thank you.
Mr. Pereiras, would you be so kind as to give the board your qualifications as an expert?
I'd be very happy to. I received a Bachelor's of Architecture in 2001 from NJIT, where I attended on full academic scholarship. I also studied at the École des Beaux-Arts in Fontainebleau, France, where I received the Architecture Prize there. I am licensed in New Jersey, as well as many other states. I serve on a number of professional boards, including I am currently the Vice President of the American Institute of Architects.
The board will accept his credentials.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Pereiras, are you familiar with the property at 779 Rosner Drive?
I am.
And did you prepare the drawings that are before the board this evening?
I have.
And would you kindly describe the application for the board?
Be very happy to, Mr. Chairman, board members.
Excuse me, Counselor, I just wanted to interrupt for 1 second. I just want to be on the record that the photo that you're showing us is the old zoning map, and that's as though it's still in a one-family zone. That is the older map. Okay?
Thank you.
Thank you
Just for
for-
the record, too, Counsel, before you begin, I do have the submission that you referenced. I've marked A1, the application with the supporting materials as it was submitted, and I marked A2, the architectural plans. It consists of 3 sheets, the 01, 02, and 03 for the record. So collectively, those 3 pages are A2. It's A1 and A2 for the record.
Thank you, counsel.
And the same drawings that were submitted to the board are the same drawings you see before your screen right now. And I'd like to use them as a presentation tool. I'd like to start with our zoning table, and please understand that this building and its existence is fully conforming. In this zone, where 5,000 square feet is required, we have 7,321 square feet, so we're an oversized lot. 50 is the minimum lot width, we're at 64.2. Minimum lot depth, this is 100, we're at 109 feet 7 inches. The minimum front yard is 25 feet, we're at 26 feet. The minimum rear yard is 25 feet, we're at 45 feet 10 inches. The side yard minimum is 5 feet, we're at 11 foot 4 inches. Building height, you're allowed 2 stories, we are 2 stories. Building height is 32 feet, fully in compliance. Building coverage is 40%. We're at 19.6, also in compliance, and the lot coverage currently, the permitted is 60%. We are currently at 46%, and that's the one thing that we're changing on the table. We are changing to 55.5% lot coverage, which is also permitted and well in. We're actually here triggering 2 variances. One variance is that driveways in this district, in your ordinance, have to lead to a garage. And the second one is the actual width of the driveway. And I'd like to present to you why we feel that this is appropriate in our case here. And just to be very clear, on the left of the screen, on our second sheet, is the existing condition of the site, and on the right is our proposed condition. And if you could see where my mouse is covering, that is the proposed driveway that we're looking to do. The driveway starts at the edge of the house and continues to the curb, and it's 18 feet wide, what we're proposing. Currently, in this house, has something a little bit awkward and a little different. The garage of the house is located underneath the house and accessed through the back, through the service road. And so the applicant currently pulls into the back, and that's his driveway, and he's entering through the back of his house. It's a little dark, a little inconvenient, and a very narrow road. This is an aerial photograph taken from Google Maps of the area. The property in question is I have no excuse because I have a Surface tablet as well. But let me walk through it. The property is where my mouse is right now. It's on the left-hand side. And as you can see here, we documented how every single house in this neighborhood has a driveway in the front of the house. Let me see if I could zoom in to make it a little bit easier to see. And here we are on Rosner Drive. Starting at one end of the street, we have driveways for every single one of these houses showing across and entering the property. And without exception, every single house has a driveway, most of them 2 cars wide in front of their houses. And the only house that does not have a driveway is this property. It actually feels like almost like a missing tooth. It feels awkward in this block, and we're looking to bring this house into more conformance and provide that driveway right there in the front, so that the applicant and his family can park the car in front of his house and walk through his front door, just like every single one of his neighbors does as well.
Can I just ask the architect, Mr. Chairman, how many of those houses, while you were showing them in this plan for the aerial, that have driveways in the front also have a 2-car with driveway in the rear?
I believe only one does, and I can't confirm that. It's only what I could see from the aerial photograph. So yes, that's what makes our property very different than all the rest. We have that rear, it's skipping a page. We have that rear driveway to access the garage right now. We're looking to replace that and provide the front driveway.
So you're not replacing the rear, you're going to maintain the rear?
The applicant, wants this driveway in lieu of the rear driveway. He's not looking to add more cars, he's not looking to add more driveways. He just really wants to be able to enter his house through the front door, like everyone else on the block, feel like he's part of the neighborhood, and be able to drive his car in the front of his house. That's all he's seeking to do.
Then what would we do with the garage in the backyard?
We
What
could do,
does that become?
we
If
could do like every other neighbor in the block and put a fence there. And almost all these houses facing that service road have a fence along the back. We could provide the fence just the same way. He has no objection to that.
But they have no driveways in the back, there's only one other one. And the,
No, there's lots of houses that have driveways and garages in the back on both sides, on other sides of the road.
not on Rosner, there's only a couple.
Not on Rosner, on
On
that service
Fairway
road,
Drive,
that service
they
road,
do.
yes.
On Fairway Drive, because there's two service roads there.
But every
On the
one of
Fairway Drive side,
but every
yes.
single one of the houses on Rosner also face that service road, and all those houses have, or the majority of those houses, have fences on that service road.
fences, they don't have driveways.
That's what we're saying. We're willing to provide a fence there.
Are you saying that you're willing to close that off?
Yeah, we're
Don't have access?
Yes, if the board has concerns with additional vehicles, we'll close it off so there's no access.
So in effect, you wouldn't have access to his garage from,
Correct.
And you wouldn't use it for a parking area,
He wouldn't.
recreational use.
No, he would not. I mean, he would prefer that. It'd be easier not to have to modify that. But we understand that the board has concerns of multiple vehicles, and in order to comply with those concerns and make sure that you feel comfortable with it, the applicant's very willing to fence that off.
is he available to confess that to the board?
We can make that as part of the
Well,
resolution.
would he be willing to take the macadam up and make it all grass?
Well, right now, he has his son's basketball hoop there. I'd like him to, he would like to keep that. And we're fully conforming with the impervious area, so why would that have to be changed?
So the fence don't ever come down and cars park back there.
If he were to do that, it would trigger another variance, and he would have to come before this board. We're providing a fence, it's not a driveway. He would eliminate the curb cut, and it would be fully compliant.
That's not currently shown on the plan, correct? This is
That-
something
that's
we're
correct.
offering to
That's
the
something
board
that-
tonight.
That came up today with comments that we heard today.
You want the engineer to look at it?
Without a doubt. I would, as the zoning officer, I would defer that to the engineering department and along with the drainage in the front and the sightline issue that I believe.
I'd like to remind the board that the impervious coverage is compliant. This does not trigger any drainage issues. It is de minimis in nature. Your own expert, your engineer, wrote that in his report. There's no additional engineering services that are needed. We're adding, because, and to comply with the board, we would be adding a fence to close it off. Does not impact any stormwater issues whatsoever.
That's with the existing layout, though. You're proposing now to end the driveway in the back, if I'm understanding correctly?
So our application today was strictly for the driveway in the front. As we understand it, the board is concerned having too many vehicles. And as a solution to that, we would eliminate having an additional driveway in the rear. The way that is accomplished is by providing a fence, no more, no less.
And the depressed curb, replacing it.
We can replace the press curb. There's not much of a curb there. It's really a service road, but we'll make it a full curb just so that cars can't roll through that.
Is there any concern in putting a driveway there? I see from the aerial, there are very large shrubs there. Car backing out of that driveway, cannot see, you'll have a blind side, so another car that's coming in an opposite direction. Was there any concern with sight distance because of all that shrubbery, this driveway being on that side of
I know from satellite, it looks very dense. It really isn't on site, and it's no more impact than the property directly across the street, if you look at it, or no more impact than any of the other properties along this entire block. You see that they all have beautiful landscaping, beautiful little trees. I don't see a problem, a safety problem there.
He's right at a radius there. I mean, everybody else is on a tangent. He's on a curve. So I don't think it's consistent with every other driveway that's on there. And the question is, did anybody look at it to see if that was an issue?
There is about 8 feet from the shrubs to the actual curb. Those 8 feet will provide ample sight lines. And those shrubs are on the neighboring property, not his.
Are there any other board members that would like to question Mr. Perez? Hearing none, are there any members of the public that would like to question the testimony this witness has provided? Hearing none, are there any members of the public that would like to comment on this application? Hearing none, counsel, would you like to make a summation?
Absolutely. Again, thank you for the opportunity to present this application to the board. This is a client and someone who's lived in this neighborhood for quite a while, and he's only looking for the concern and safety of his family. And I think it's very important for all of us as individuals who have homes to walk in through the front door and to have your wife and your children access through the front of your home instead of through a service road, which I think you can appreciate is not the ideal solution. So this is a simple application. It brings us more in conformance with the neighborhood, and we hope that the board would agree to approve this application.
All right, at this time, I believe we can conference this. Mr. Bentavegna, would you like to begin?
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Thank you. Let me start off by saying I find it kind of odd that the applicant or homeowner is not here. But anyway, maybe he had something to do. Like you said, all the homes in that area do have one driveway, so 2 would, I think, would be a little extreme. I'm also concerned about the site issue backing out, only because it's on the curve. And based on the testimony, I'm going to vote no tonight.
Mr. Johnson?
Yeah, as Mr. Donovan said, it's unusual that the homeowner's not here to say that he would agree to putting the fence up, and so we have no guarantee that there's no plan for that, or guarantee from the homeowner that he's doing that. Therefore, I would also be voting no tonight.
Ms. Martins?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just feel that this is a safety issue. Adding a driveway in the front could, on a turn that way could pose a safety issue, so I would be voting.
Mr. Wiley?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm going to vote no.
Mr. McNeil?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I would agree with what's been said by my colleagues, which is a concern of mine also, is the site distance, but a bigger concern is that the concessions that look as being proposed, the owner is not here to affirm those changes. So I would be voting no on this application.
Ms. Scott?
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's a little, the applicant should be here, he's not here, so we don't know how important this really is to him. So I agree with my colleagues, it's a safety issue, it's a little odd to have 2 different driveways, but, and he's not even here to justify why he would want it, so I'll be voting no as well.
As for myself, I feel the proposed driveway is a little out of character for the area, and the applicant failed to prove and justify both the negative and positive criteria associated with this application, so I too will be voting no. At this time, may I have a motion to deny the application?
Mr. Chairman, I move that the board deny the variance applicable to this application and that council is directed to prepare a resolution consistent with the board's decision.
Second,
Roll call.
Mr. Wiley?
yes.
To no.
Yes or no?
The motion to deny, so yes would be to support the denial.
Fair. Ms. Martins?
No.
Motion to deny, so the yes.
Motion to deny,
would be-
yes is the.
Yes, yes, I'm sorry.
Mr. Bentavegana?
Yes.
Scott?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. McNeil?
Yes.
Mr. Champy?
Yes.
First meeting in August is what, is that the first meeting in August?
What was that date? What was the date?
All right, I'll try to get it on for the July. we already
August
got
what?
Yeah, the last, July 24th. July 24th, we'll put it on for the resolution.
Can I have a motion to adjourn?
Mr. Chairman, I move the board, excuse me, there being no further business coming before the board this evening, I move that we adjourn.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? So moved.